Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, you guys, get your barf bags ready again. So I'm going to be reading on a big screen because this is just a lot. And then I have more of documented child abuse happening in real time currently at Scientology, whereas no one is doing anything about it. And I'm going to cover those after this. Ron the War Hero. L. Ron Hubbard and the U.S. Navy, 1941 to 50. So how many years is that? 2, for 3, for 4, for 5, for 6. They're trying to tell me he was in for 9 years. I don't really believe that. This is, what is this from? cscmu.edu. One of the most glaring anomalies in the Hubbard Scientology account of his war years is the question of what medals L. Ron Hubbard was awarded. Since at least 1985, the Church of Scientology has just distributed a document which purports to be Hubbard's official notice of separation. I've seen it. It's not a DD-214. The form completed on leaving active duty. This form, U.S. Navy form, DD-214, lists 21 awards, broken down as follows. I haven't seen this, but so far I haven't found a DD-214. This is what this loser's trying to tell people he has. Purple Heart with Palm, 2 of them. 1 Victory Medal. 1 Letter of Commendation. District Marksman's Badge. Unit Citation. Rifle, Pistol. 1 each, which says he's qualified on it. European Theater, 1 star. That just means that everybody gets that. If you're stationed in that area, if it's considered a theater, everybody gets it. Lottie-dottie and everybody. American Theater, 2 stars. Marine Medal, 1. American Defense, British and Dutch Victory medals. He's claiming he has 3 of each. Can't brush his teeth, but he's trying to say he does all of this. Asiatic Pacific Theater, 3 stars. Saying that he has 4 of these. Anybody who's really been in the military, whether you've actually been to a war zone or not, if you were a decent sailor, soldier, Marine, whatever service you were in, you can tell fake. The Church of Scientology has also circulated a photograph showing a variety of medals and ribbons. I'm going to click on that real quick. Broken link, of course. Which are claimed to be those awarded to Hubbard for his war service. Curiously, Scientology has never detailed exactly what the decorations were purportedly awarded. Of course not. Nor has Scientology been very consistent in its claims. As recently as 1994, it has claimed that Hubbard received 29 awards. It's a joke. The Church of Scientology 40th Anniversary, 1994. Hubbard himself claimed 27 medals in an unsuccessful attempt to obtain from the U.S. Navy the medals to which he believed he was entitled, but had not received. You see, that's what he was doing. He was like faking people out. He knew he didn't earn those. He ordered his staff to write to the Navy to request his medals. His claims were detailed in Flag Operations Liaison, memo of May 28, 1974. The list is considerably different to that circulated by Scientology today. This is what this loser was telling everyone he got. Navy Commendation Medal with 1 Bronze Star, Purple Heart, Naval Reserve Medal, Organized Marine Corps Reserve Medal, British, the 1939-45 War Medal, French, Médaille Commémorative François, 1939-45, Netherlands, Bronzen Kruis, Philippine Defense with 3 Silver Stars, American Defense Service Medal with 1 Bronze Star, American Campaign Medal with 2 Bronze Stars. Right there, I know it's all bullshit. Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal with 2 Bronze Stars, European African Middle Eastern Campaign Medal with 1 Bronze Star, World War II Victory Medal, National Defense Medal, Armed Forces Reserve Medal, Navy Expert Rifleman. You guys know that fool was not an expert. I was when I was in. Psst, sure enough. On 5 different weapons. Navy Expert Pistol Shot. You know he didn't get expert. There's no way. In reply, the Navy observed that Hubbard's service record showed that he had only been awarded 4 decorations. The American Defense Service Medal, American Campaign Medal. Everybody gets that. Like if you're serving in a certain area, everyone gets it. Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal. It's another one where if you're in the area, everyone gets it. And World War II Victory Medal. And sent only those 4 medals back to the Church of Scientology. And they break it down, so we're going to get into that. The purported notice of separation distributed. Hold on. The purported notice of separation distributed by Scientology does not appear in Hubbard's U.S. Navy file. Instead, a quite different document is present. The only known source for the first document is the Church of Scientology. This is so disrespectful to the military and to the veterans. Irrespective of the documents or the Church's merits, this in itself is enough to cast suspicion on its authenticity. The U.S. Navy document at least has an auditable trail. We know where it has been in the possession of the U.S. Navy. We know who produced it and was it a copy for. That's important too, because the DD-214, they have several, I forget how many copies there are, but I know the number 4 is very important. It has signatures and we know who produced it, the Bureau of Naval Personnel, and we know how and when it was obtained, on various occasions through the Freedom of Information Act. The Church of Scientology has released none of these details. That's what happens when you're lying of the document. Any historian would rightly be suspicious of a document with untraceable origins. Facts. Wonder if all the veterans in Scientology, I've heard there's not many, but I'm not sure. Oh, I bet they'd be pissed off. Analyzing the document in detail reveal numerous points which cast doubt on its authenticity. The most obvious is its tally of medals awarded to Hubbard, which differs greatly from that held in Hubbard's official file. Of course it does. A close examination shows that Hubbard could not possibly have been awarded some of the medals listed. I knew that just by looking at it. And I'm not a military scholar or historian or any of those. I'm like, I don't know, at least 2nd generation veteran. We had quite a few veterans in my paternal family. Entries with an at next to them denote the medals which Hubbard is officially recorded as having been awarded. Okay, yeah, so we're going to go through that. I'm pretty sure I have this one. Oh, no, wait. No. Never mind. I've got one that's similar to this. American Defense Medal. Full title, the American Defense Service Medal, also represented by a ribbon, awarded to all, that's what I was saying. Maybe I got the number 2 or 3 of this. Awarded to all who served, so everybody gets it, during the pre-World War II limited national emergency. September 8th, 1939 to May 26, 1941, or the unlimited national emergency, which ran from the Battle of the Atlantic to Pearl Harbor, May 27th, 1941 to December 7th, 1941. As Hubbard had been commissioned, I don't even know how that happened. You guys, to be honest, he didn't have a college degree, I don't think. That's something to look into as well. On July 19th, 1941, he qualified for and received this medal. Him and a whole bunch of other people did. American Theater. This is probably the American Theater of Operations Medal Ribbon. It was instituted on November 6, 1942, for service between December 7, 1941 and March 2, 1946, on land or aboard certain ships within the American Theater of Operations. I was just thinking, I'm thinking probably some of my uncles might have been there. Well, anyways, for aggregate period of 1 year within the continental United States, or for 30 consecutive or 60 non-consecutive days outside the continental limits, but within the American Theater of Operations. A star was awarded for certain specified operations, such as escort duty, anti-submarine actions, etc. Hubbard served in the continental U.S. for all but a few months of his 4-year naval career. Also, too, you guys, like I said, I'm not a historian, but isn't this when World War II was going on, I think? He was stateside. You know what I'm saying? In the continental U.S. for all but a few months of his 4-year... Oh, here we go, 4 years. So he's telling everyone he was in 9 years and he was in 4 years. They probably were glad to see him go. As such, I was in longer. Ha. As such, he qualified for and was awarded this ribbon. He was not deemed to have qualified... Facts. He was not deemed to have qualified for any stars, and they do not appear in his Navy file. Yeah, because it never happened. How he didn't go to jail just for this is beyond me. Well, I mean, I kind of know, but... However, contradictory evidence exists on this point. Hubbard's second in command aboard the USS PC-815, Thomas Moulton, testified in 1984. So I'm just guessing, let's see, what was this guy's rank? I wish they would have gotten his rank. We were allowed, this is Thomas Moulton's testify. We were allowed, so I was advised, to wear 2 battle stars on our American Theater ribbon, which I wore as long as I was in the service. I was told that they had been allowed by Washington. Source: Thomas Moulton testimony, Church of Scientology versus Armstrong, 1984. Who advised Moulton is not known. It is quite possible that Hubbard himself was the source of this information, as he also claimed, but was not awarded 2 battle stars. I don't know. I would think that would have come out in the testimony. Asiatic Pacific Theater, 3 stars. Awarded to all officers and enlisted men of the U.S. Armed Forces who, between December 7th, 1941 and March 2nd, 1946, served in active duty in the prescribed area or upon certain ships. Hubbard qualified for and received this ribbon. One of Hubbard's ships, the USS Algol, won 2 stars in the APAC Theater for April 1st through 10th, 1945, and July 10th through August 3rd, 1945. Only 1 star was awarded for each engagement. Hold on. Hubbard would have had to have been in both battles to have been awarded both stars. However, Hubbard had left the ship on September 28, 1944, and was ineligible for the stars. The U.S. Navy and Marine Corps Awards Manual and the relevant ship's movement card showed that his other Pacific vessel, the USS PC through 815, took part in no engagements and was awarded no battle stars. Wonder what his comrades would have thought about him saying it's okay to kiss a 7-year-old girl that had something for him. Mm-hmm. British Victory Medal. This medal simply does not exist. It does not appear on Hubbard's official file. Furthermore, the British Ministry of Defense has no record of a lieutenant. That's all he was a Louis? Lieutenant L. Ron Hubbard ever having been awarded a British decoration. I want to see what this fool's rank was. If this dude was just a Louis, girl, sure, you guys know. You know. It's the lowest rank in the officer ranks. District marksman. Presumably, I know this is a bunch of bull. Presumably distinguished marksman. Right. There's no record of Hubbard having been awarded this medal, although it is clearly visible in the Church of Scientology photograph. All of us veterans and military need to get on this and make sure that those cannot be displayed anymore. I don't know if they're still being displayed, but it's got to stop. It's got to stop. It's like pissing on all the veterans' graves. Dutch Victory Medal. Like its supposed British counterpart, this medal simply does not exist. It does not appear on Hubbard's official file. European Theater, later. Probably the European, Africa, Middle Eastern Campaign Medal. Hubbard's service record shows that he did not serve in Europe, Africa, or the Middle East. In fact, he never even left U.S. coastal waters. That's what I was saying, you guys. I'm going to try to be decent today. Try to keep my mouth clean. What the later is supposed to mean is unclear. Letter of Commendation, Unit Citation. Oh, this is sounding like a BS. Quite what these refer to is unclear. Letter of Commendation may refer to the Navy unit. He was just making stuff up. May refer to the Navy unit commendation established by the Secretary of the Navy in December 1944 and awarded to any ship, aircraft detachment, or other unit of the U.S. Navy or Marine Corps, which, subsequent to December 6, 1941, distinguished itself by outstanding heroism, and you know that wasn't him, in action against the enemy. Even more outstanding heroism was recognized by the Presidential Unit Citation, established in February 1942 and awarded for extraordinary heroism in the face of the enemy. This may be the unit citation listed on the document. And to my knowledge, I'm thinking back, it was a long time ago, there's a lot of unit citations. He was just grabbing for straws. Marine Medal. All these generic things he was saying. There are several possibilities for this, but the most likely is that it represents the Navy and Marine Corps medal, also represented as a ribbon. This was instituted on August 7, 1942, for personnel of the U.S. Navy and Marine Corps, who, since December 6, 1941, had distinguished themselves by heroism not involving actual combat. Let's say it again. Not involving actual combat with the enemy. There is no record of Hubbard having been awarded this medal, nor, in fact, having committed any act of wartime heroism whatsoever. Of course not. This is the one that really, really irritates me. Purple Heart with Palm. The modern Purple Heart is of surprisingly recent origins, considering its revered status. Originally a short-lived Revolutionary War decoration, it was revived in 1932 for the U.S. Army. It was not until September 19, 1942, that it was extended to the Navy and Marine Corps. Its eligibility was also changed, so that now it was and still is awarded exclusively to those killed or wounded as a result of enemy action, including frostbite. The palm, rather than a second Purple Heart, is usually awarded for further combat-related injuries. Hubbard could not have received this medal for wounds received before September 1942. This is more than 6 months after he was supposedly evacuated from the Pacific as the first returned U.S. Navy casualty from the South Pacific. The only combat action recorded in Hubbard's U.S. Navy file was his battle against 2 supposed Japanese submarines off Oregon. Neither he nor his crew sustained any injuries. Rifle, pistol. This presumably refers to the Navy expert pistol shot and Navy expert rifleman medals. Both are awarded on attainment of rigidly prescribed marksmanship, standards established in the Navy. Landing Party Manual. Hubbard filed DD-214 indicates that he was awarded these medals, though. Curiously, they are omitted from the current official version of his service record. I don't know. I was expert in all of it, so it's just been a long time. I don't pay attention to this. I'm going to click on this. I don't like when people type out things. I mean, this was posted a long time ago. But it's not the same as reading the actual form yourself. There's a whole bunch of, hold on, I'll show you guys. You guys can't read that, but it's just like everything saying it's under construction. This guy lied through his black teeth. Victory Medal. Awarded to all members of the U.S. Armed Forces who served on active duty at any time between December 7th, 1941 to December 31, 1946. Also awarded to members of the Philippine Armed Forces. Hubbard clearly qualified for and was duly awarded this medal. The record also shows a number of other strange anomalies. Section 24, Service, Vessels and Stations Served on. Lists CO USS Howland and CO USS Mist. I'm thinking this is I forgot what those are called, but they have, back in the old days, they had lists of people who were actually on the boats, especially if there was some kind of military, like, violence or action in which people lost their lives. The USS Howland does not appear to have existed. Wow, it didn't even exist. Damn. The United States Naval Vessel Register has no record of the vessel Hubbard's record discloses. No association with any vessel by that name. He should have been in jail or prison just for all of this. Put him in there with a bunch of veterans. The old school veterans. The USS Mist was a motor launch converted during World War I into a guard boat. She was returned to her owner in February 1919 when Hubbard was only 7 years old. She did not serve in World War II. However, Hubbard's first command, the USS YP-422 was a converted trawler formerly named Mist. She did not carry her civilian name into military life and was given only a hull number. People should just ask themselves, just based on this alone, why Scientology was allowed to continue. Section 35, signed by Lieutenant Commander Howard D. Thompson, U.S. Naval Reserve. Oh, so it was all made up. No officer of this name is listed in the 1944 Register of Commissioned and Warrant Officers of the United States Naval Reserve. Wonder if we could get that list for all the officers, the police officers that were present during Officer Tipping's strange accident. Section 41, non-service education, years successfully completed. Claims that he spent 4 years at college. In fact, Hubbard dropped out of George Washington University in 1932 after 2 years of a 3-year course. This fact is recorded on Hubbard's Navy personnel file. Where am I here? Section 42, degrees, lists the award of CE for civil engineer. Hubbard never gained an academic qualification due to having dropped out of his civil engineering course at George Washington University. How did he get into this university if he just didn't even have the intellect or grit? The U.S. Navy was well aware of this. It obtained a copy of his college grades when he joined the U.S. Navy in July 1941, and explicitly concluded that he was deficient in academic educational background. In the early days of Scientology, however, Hubbard liked to add the letter CE to his name on Scientology publications. He was just a fraud all the way through. I personally want to know more about his birth family. And I listened to some of the I forget, something Messiah book about. It was just so much information. I was so overwhelmed. It was almost too much. These inconsistencies, especially the signature of a non-existent officer, LAPD, make the authenticity of the document very doubtful. By contrast, the copy contained in Hubbard's official file does not include any undocumented or otherwise inexplicable entries. Also, though admittedly a superficial point, the official copy is much more obviously aged than the nearly pristine document circulated by the Church of Scientology. They were actively participating in fraud. You guys know a lot of them that were doing all that, they knew it was a lie. You have to. Because it's not hard to go down that little rabbit hole and figure it out. The most likely explanation for the inconsistencies is that the document is a clumsy forgery, facts, conceivably cooked up by Scientology officials, but more likely concocted by Hubbard himself, that's what I think, to support his claims to have been a highly decorated war hero. It may be significant that the document was apparently not sent to the U.S. Navy to support Hubbard's 1974 request for his medals. It is possible that the document was forged to rebut for the benefit of his followers. The U.S. Navy's assertion that the 4 medals which Hubbard received were the only decorations which he had earned. I'm not a fan of this dude. According to Jerry Armstrong, formerly custodian of Hubbard, see what I mean? Formerly custodian of Hubbard's personal papers, Hubbard had been in his possession a number of blank U.S. Navy forms. Oh, Jesus. If this is true, then it considerably increases the likelihood that the forgery was Hubbard's own work. And also, you guys notice how certain people are bowing out of stuff? Mm-hmm. As for the 21 decorations shown in the photographs circulated by Scientology, their origin is a mystery. Hubbard evidently did not have them in 1974, as his request to the U.S. Navy indicates. The U.S. Navy only sent him 4, so where did the other 17 come from? The most probable answer, tawdry though it is that Hubbard, or his agents, bought them or had them donated by Scientologist war veterans and then claimed falsely that they were his. These claims are still being made by the Church of Scientology. This is really old, but I'll bet they're still doing it. And then they give all where they sourced everything. It's what they did back in the old days. Crazy, isn't it? I'm going to click on that. It's probably all. Yeah, this is a forgery, dude. I mean, it seems to me like it came from like a real form. And somebody just typed it in, you know what I mean? And the older DD-214s look different, but this doesn't look like anything I've ever seen. Something is just super not right. This little pathetic is saying he was in 4 years, 8 months. I wouldn't be surprised if you did a lot of digging, if we could find it, that he was asked to leave. So that's it, you guys. I will put a link in the document. I will put a link in the description. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.